Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness, by giving, will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to become arrogant in the power that you have understood and you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised. And this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul. And we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand, to be there, to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle. Which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and in the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 303rd One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace and Justice here on Tuesday, December 5th, 2023. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the Public Teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond, and I'll be host in this weekly series of workshops once again. And once again, we have the pleasure of having members of the Universal Council to join us today and present today's show. So let's get that ready without further ado. And we shall begin. Go ahead, Universal Council.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So much, my dear Rick, always. And hello, my dear beautiful souls. Salam, namaste, salute, my dear beautiful souls. I will say it all the time. And welcome, 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 suswagatam to the beautiful, beautiful energy of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute organization. Welcome to the beautiful energy of one planet, one nation, one race for justice and world peace. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the beautiful energies of all knowledge seekers, the universal souls, always. Welcome, welcome to all that is love. And I will say some few words, an experience. Like where I'm a student of Keshe Foundation, Bangla teaching, and our teacher is beautiful, beautiful teacher Moshri. And in the last Bangla teaching, we were talking about the plasma car that has been developing or in production maybe in China, and he told me about that how the plasma car will operate, how it will go forward and go back and have a break or turn like that. So even the two knowledge seekers student, young boys, beautiful souls, explained to trigger our knowledge. They explained us the magnetic train, the run it through the magnets by the magnets in Japan and China, and how that runs and how the North Pole and the South Pole is working at that time when the train is running, how it comes down a break, and it's always in the electromagnetic way. So, but here in the plasma energy, there is no such thing as sometimes, mostly is the not polarity kind of thing. But they question all of us that how will the plasma car run? How? So I answered in a way what I know in the level of me, that it will run in gravitational magnetic fields, and sometimes obviously the gravity will change, and the magnitude will is very in a huge portion, and the gravity is less, and sometimes like that, and we can control it as we always do. We can control it by our soul and take the car as our body, and play like, we are going. We don't have to we have to have the address to feed in it, and it will work on this universal intelligence, kind of that, a little artificial intelligence. Then Moshik uh, uh, taught us that actually, yeah, it is your car. He said, this is the high level car you are talking, that you will run like this, and it is possible, and it is going to be. But what we are talking about, Moshfik said, that we are talking about the manifestation of the plasma car that will run physically on the roads on planet Earth. So, and how it will run, because we have to have this manifestation of physicality also, and then the plasma will run the plasma energy of interaction of plasma. The car will run, and then how? And it will smoothly uh, 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 flow on the road, slightly uh, on a level high, not touching the road at all. And that is that is the beauty in it. And how it will be possible? How can it move forward? There is still a question. But this was the homework given by our teacher. And that is the beauty of it. This is, and we all know that uh, the manifestation is very necessary. Physical manifestation also, because many people, good souls, want to see that. If they see, they will understand, and they will surely understand what to do next. And that is the beauty of it. You have now the manifestation is there, and we will see the plasma car on the other devices, touch it, have it, uh, see it, experience it like that, and go forward with the knowledge and understand to how to create the balance, how to create the peace. There's no need of this uh, well, Maya illusion to go on like this. So there are many things. Jaco has also explained this very beautifully, and we are still solving how the plasma car will run in a way. So this is the experience, as a student, we are having, and all of us, we are learning, and this is the question, and we will go forward for it in the next Bangla teaching. And thank you for listening, my dear. Thank you. And I welcome Lisbeth to start the beautiful and light of enlightenment, the reading. Thank you.
If I
Yes.
could add something,
Oh yes, of course.
I was in line to return some items to a store, and then these three people got in back of me in the line. I thought they were Indian, So I started talking to them about how I work with someone in India in the Hindi language and on the plasma technology. And they said, "What's plasma technology?" And we started to have a beautiful conversation as I opened it up a little bit more, told them about my teacher who's been walking on this planet. And then we got into the Vedas a little bit, and so many different little knowledges. The line was long, so I had quite a bit of time to interact with them. And so it looked like a man, his wife, and a daughter, and they were returning some clothing. And I said to the father, I said, "Well, what business are you in?" They said, "Oh, we're not in business. We're all business students." They said, I said, "Oh," and I started to explain a little bit more about how wealth is not in the pocket, but it's in the knowledge of the universe. And they were just tickled in a way. And I said, "Gee, coming from your culture and all these writings and different Vedas and different books and so on, I thought you would be quite open to this knowledge, And they said, "Oh, we don't know about those books or anything like that." I think they were a little afraid to admit it. But I told them about Mr. Keshe and his experience, and working with someone in India named Shweta, and the rest of that. And I told them where they could find it. And the husband was, or which appeared to be the husband to me. But he said, "Where did you get all this knowledge? What is your name?" He said, "I want to Google you and see where you got all this knowledge." And I was telling him in the knowledge, I don't know if they were pandering to me. I don't think they were. But I said, in the Knowledge Seekers Workshop, I said, "Remember that. You can see Mr. Keshe on YouTube," and so on. So they seemed quite delighted. All of them were smiling. And of course, I was thinking of Shweta and Masfek and that part of the world at the time. And I just thought that was a beautiful experience that I had just interacting. And I told them, "I can transfer knowledge to you right now, and I will do that." So it was just a beautiful of interaction with them, just by chance. as I understand it right now. So I thought I'd just share that as an opening.
Oh, thank you, Mark. Thank you so much. So beautifully you shared. Yes, of course. Many Indians, well, I will say India, people of India don't understand the Vedas or they are only connected with the religion and exploit it more and more day by day. But then what what knowledge you shared, that was beyond comprehension. We know that. So kind of that, so full of love. Thank you, my dear Mark. Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful experience with Indians. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Sweta. Thank you, Mark, to share. So I start the reading. Is an extract from 514 teaching of Mr. Keshe. So as we all know, life has a limited span in the physical dimension. On my passing, the daughter of Mitra will take over, and she will teach you and take you across. And I'm sure the soul of Rick will be there. We will still serve in different dimensions and directions. So it will be nonetheless, because every time there has been new time, new problems, new understandings, new solutions needed, and the daughter of Mitra is fully aware and taught and versed with it. In time to come, many will learn that the passengers of the universe have no limit, no limitation in speed, no limitation in thoughts, no limitation in generosity, and this will come to be part of the structure of life for all of us. Does not matter, we take dimension of physicality or we don't. We go to the position to understand how it works and the way it is. As I said, we take a new turn in guiding and take you into new dimensions regarding the soul of the man. But you have to remember, we are still dealing with the physicality of the man. The expectations to see one and then to go to the next, to believe in one and then go to the next. It is still part of the work of the Keshe Foundation. We still work in the dimension of the physicality. We still then negotiate with the governments. We still do research. We still now Keshe Foundation and then, oh my God, independently, we will have spaceship programs of its own, independent of the nations. And so you will start seeing a lot of physical dimensions work, plus the work of the soul at the same time from the foundation. As many of you attended the meeting in London, you saw for the first time in public, as I said before, the weight loss, how we produce reduction in weight, and then lift and motion. In the following weeks to come, we will bring you sometimes live on the flowers of the Keshe Foundation research centers, be in China, be it in China, be in somewhere else, somewhere else for you to live life house systems reduce weight. How system will take shape in life and motion that gives you understanding more, that gives you more confidence that technology is not just one-sided. Because you have to learn this. When you take you to the moon, we take you with the speed of the light, with the speed of soul, with the craft as you like it. But then you have to get out of the plane. You have to get out of the spaceship and walk on the floors, on the ground of the moon. We can give you a dome protection of the Earth condition that you still feel good. You aren't in a monkey suit. But as I said before, when you want to cross that field to go and see actually how life is on the other side of the dome, you have to travel with what you call the structure of the soul. Then you see how the two teachings come together. It's in a way book number one. Now we are going through book number 2 to get you there. In book 3, when you arrive there, how you manifest yourself in dimension of physicality. The biggest square for you will be to see yourself in that dimension. And if somebody puts a mirror in front of you, and if you have the eyes to see on the moon outside the dome, would you recognize yourself? Would you understand the soul in mind, the physicality in the condition of the environment? So, in the coming weeks, as we teach you more and more about the dimension of the space travel, true dimension of the soul of the man, which has been the pattern, we start to giving you that confirmation of both physical transportation, which then can become transmutation when you feel like it, when you want to. In a way, we get many people on cruises, we get many people on aircrafts, but very few jump in the ocean, and very few take a parachute and jump off the plane. Then this comes to all of us. We are showing you the same. In the coming time, as you see, as we showed in the London conference, the reduction in weight. Now we show you the physical development time to time, while we push forward with the teaching of the Keshe Foundation, with the way you get out of this town, what language you speak on the moon, what food you can eat, and the rest of it. Thank you. Lizzie? She's not listening.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello. Thank you. It's very easy. As I explained to one of the knowledge seekers very recently, we're in London, England is a very typical country with Chinese restaurants. But in every menu in Chinese restaurants, there is a fish and chips or chicken and chips, because some of those who go to the restaurant don't like to eat Chinese. They never experienced it. And the fear of experiencing new dimension, they stick to, can I have my fish and chips? And this is how it be with some of you. We will go to the space, but you have the fear of going to the dimension of actually what it means to live in space, going through the transmutation. Just because you have not gained the strength to go through the transmutation to feel the dimension of the soul of the man, does not mean you cannot be the passenger of the space. Even though your soul is aware that anytime you decide to let the soul of the physicality to interact with the soul of the man, you can become that passenger of the universe through your soul or the physicality in connection to your soul. So you take over. You go to the land of what you call the dreamland, in the time of the man on earth, but they're really in space in interaction with the dimension. In a very recent publication with world leaders in military and the rest, discussion came on the table, very simple. And that was, Mr. Keshe, we are not interested in the part yet. They just get our people to understand this side before we jump to the other side. But the strangest thing is that this side will come much faster than the other side, because the thesis is in the depth. Now the units are out. Now we use the Wellness Center to teach you, to bring you part of all of you who go through the process of the wellness center. You go through the process for understanding gradually become those who will travel through the soul. Because it's part of the system, will set up to be the interaction with the solar system, where your soul system will allow you to carry on the next step. What we'll see as I will take you with a plane or with a UFO, whatever you call it, to the moon. And then you have to jump and do that. The new system which has come into operation. And now the unit are with us who are the licenses of the Keshe Foundation. Will take you through the position of the two-way travel simultaneously. Those of you who go through the wellness system from now on, using the system which is with the license, you have the two options. Now you already started a process where you can go through the soul. And at the same time, you can work with the dimension of physicality. We will see massive change in the process of what is to come. Keshe Foundation Wellness Center will announce this week or maybe soon that they will handle a specific case directly, that they can breathe that change into the soul, that life is suffering physicality condition, which now is a dream. Many of you suffer with, there is no solution. Give me a pump, give me an injection, give me something else. But there has been no ever-ending solution. Because the world of the science of today have not understood most of your physicality conditions, as a psychological or what we call the soul interaction. We have covered the soul work of your soul with your physicality or the banner of psychosomatic, psychological, in a way in a soul you call. It's to do with the soul. It's got nothing to do with physical. Because psychological, the emotion of the physicality comes out the interaction of the field of the soul of the man with the soul of physicality. Then we understand how we can maneuver, we can use it. And it's the process of the next few weeks. We'll see the beginning of the process of the transfer and transmutation will come together. And the new systems, which are now out with the licenses of the Keshe Foundation, with the licenses of using the system for a just system has already started. It's not that it's going to be, it's already here. The name, the email, or the licenses will be released in the coming few days, where you can go to them and benefit from both dimensions. Thank you.
Then you understand how the system has changed, how a new dimension is added. This is, you work in the dimension of the soul, you work in the dimension of the soul of physicality, you work in the dimension of physicality of the man. And then these are all trial grounds. These are all test grounds for the step to come when we introduce what you call the UFOs, which are now coming out in conjunction with the Chinese military and Chinese government into the next. We heard in the past few days, Chinese have launched a system that will travel with the speed of light, and they hope this to be launched by 2025. I wrote to those, the military, and I said, what's next? First of all, have you understood? You just can send the system with the speed of light. You cannot send the man with the speed of light. We see when a man goes through a few gravities, what happens. You will see, and we have seen, how shrinking and shaking and everything else of the body of the man. In that process, in that dimension, in that process of changing, what are the people going to do? We do not even know that even if you travel with the speed of light, what will happen to you on the other end. The speed of G, sound barrier, has brought fear to the man. Man goes unconscious after so many Gs. How are you going to transfer his soul? How you are going to transfer his body to the new dimension? This is what is exciting to travel with the speed of light. Now they say you can do it in 2025. But would a live man come out of the system? No way. Man at a few Gs in fighter plane goes unconscious. Man in racketing and rocketing will go different dimension. What would man do in the speed of light? So the answer is what we have put. What is the teaching? It's the way the universe works, not the way man has liked and would like to boast about it. We are going to travel with speed of light. Are you sure? Would your system ever survive? Would it not go through the transmutation of energy? And you have nothing. And then we say, we lost our system. Because you never understood a system traveling with the speed of light needs protection of the magnetic field to not go through that barrier of sounds breaking. And then the rest of it. Now you understand. Does not matter how many develops his technologies, physical technologies, speed of light, or whatever. If man does not learn to protect the physicality of the man, to protect what we call the craft in the dimension of universal magnetic fields, man is still playing with a dream. As I said to the Chinese in a very direct way, you are going to go with the speed of light in 2022. Then what? Can you carry a man? Can you carry an object and come out of the other end? If the speed of sound, multiple speeds of sound, creates such a problem for you, then what's going to happen with the rest of it? Does it going to go in the dimension of weightlessness? With what weightlessness will be? If a few meters above Earth gives you weightlessness, what's going to be done to you in the dimension of higher gravities of the different atmosphere, different conditions? Now you see, now you understand. There is no solution for man to travel in the depths of the universe without fully understanding the interaction of the fields, fully understanding the existence of the soul, fully understanding how he is going to transfer and transmute. Technological chain does not bring maturity of the soul, does not bring maturity of understanding the work of the universe. And this is what the scientists of today are trapped in. This is how the scientists, from one excuse to another, block new understanding, block new technologies, because they don't understand. They have to stop the rest not to understand too. And when they understand, if they can steal it, they put it in their own name, not to show that it came from somewhere and it's not from them. We have seen that with Stephen Hawking. We have seen that with other, what we call academicians in China or other scientists. Now you understand. There is no choice. There is no option. There is no way. Man can travel the depth of the universe with the speeds over the speed of light, even the speed of light by order of magnitude, if he does not understand first how to transfer itself to the energy of itself, that energy can transfer without physicality, then manifest itself in physicality. And this is exactly what all the teachings of the Keshe Foundation are. As you see, we develop systems that allows your soul to expand, for you to understand the work of it, while at the same time, as we showed in London, we are still developing systems for your physicality to understand how it will happen. What's the next step? Because, as I said, not all of you like to eat Chinese. You still go in and ask for fish and chips. And the whole lot of you go to the Chinese, sit on the table, but the fear does not allow you to touch something new. What's going to happen? Would my body accept this new way of cooking? And you still stick to that essence, taste of your fish and chips. As we have seen, many of knowledge seekers say I didn't feel anything, because in the background, the fear of new brings a fear of I keep. And because it's an emotion of physicality, does not let the soul of the man to expand. And this is a rule. Thou shalt not steal. We cannot force you. We can take you to the water. It's you who has to accept and drink the water. Otherwise, stay thirsty and look at the other horses drinking and say, I don't know how to drink. I don't know how they drink. All you need is to bend your head and stick your head in it. New ways, new technologies, combinations of new technologies will come into operation, as it has now, as we are preparing in both parallel ways together. We are preparing governments, nations, military to accept, to understand the new dimension of physicality in every aspect, while we are teaching the knowledge seekers how to travel with the speed of the soul, how to travel, how to interact, how to transmute, that in the future you have the option of both. Thank you.
Go ahead, Mehran.
Sorry, I was reading without the microphone. Sorry. I started. So I started. Yes. Hello, everybody. And I continue. Oh, this microphone is. Excuse me for a moment. Okay. When we did the very first test in Ghent University with the electrical engineering department in assessing how we can lift the systems, how things can go, it was very strange. The limitation came 200 kilograms. We asked why. First of all, crosswind. Secondly, most of the elderly would not like to feel they are off the ground. So we have to stick to the ground, reduce a 20-ton to 200 kilos, reduce a ton car to 200 kilos. That elderly would have the fear, no, they still have a wheel on the ground. What about the youngsters? What about those who are adventurous and would like to take off? We have to make a legislation for it. There are no traffic lights. There are no legislation. There are no court of judgment of high speed and low speed in the space. There is not even a system to detect what speed you travel, let alone to give you a speeding ticket. I put this to you many times. Maybe you understand today. Maybe you understand in the future. Man, with all his technological advancement, has not managed to measure the speed of the magnetic field which comes out of a tiny solid magnet. We know there is a field, and they draw a line that it goes. But I asked this question many times from plasma physicists, from electronic and electronic engineers. Can you tell me what's the speed of that thing you show? If it's there, it's moving. You tell us it's moving around the earth and has a tail. What's its speed? What forces would it create? What physical effect will have on the physicality? In one of the very recent tests, the knowledge seekers in the background who were in it, they know what I'm talking about. We run a physical system and we had no system on another table nearby, but it had the weight sensors. And then it started showing change of weight. I said, now you understand what you're dealing with. When you switch your system on, the magnetic field of your system pressurize another object, and it shows weight. It shows reduction of weight. How come? It's the same with us. We now monitor these things. We don't have the system to measure a simple magnetic field speed, and we are happy with the speed of light. The speed of magnetic field is so much higher than the speed of light that it's blind to us. We don't see it. We cannot see it. We have no system to detect it. These are the technologies which has to be developed. We do not feel, don't know. We come to false assumptions because we see some of it. We call it the speed of light. It takes 8 minutes or whatever to take from the sun to us. My dear friend, the minute it leaves the sun is in you. It's part of you.
Where have you come up with these 8 minutes? Because you have a bicycle and you say it takes a bicycle from A to B. 8 minutes. Doesn't mean that the jumbo jet will do the same thing in 1 microsecond of it. Or you're denying that advancement of the technology is not there. We just calculate the bicycle as today's cars. As I said before, we're still measuring how many horses. Now you understand. You have to understand. You have no option. Now the technological development is going on both ways. How are we going to link the horses to the car? Do we put 150 horses in front of the car and run them together? Or do we feed the horses 150 meals to have the 150 times more energy to see if it matches the car? None of it makes sense. But out of our own lack of understanding, we accept both rubbish languages. Now we have to. Now it's the job of the scientists to measure the magnetic field strength. What magnetic field dimension around the solid magnet? As the scientists told us, we don't have a tool for it. One day we will have. Now that we can travel with the speed of soul, we can understand that there is a higher order than the speed of light. Then we'll see what happens. I'll give you an example. Ask your lover, your partner, your mom, your dad, whoever sits next to you when you're asleep and watches you, and you go to sleep. And then you wake up and you tell your observer, I had such and such a dream. And we know the dimension of the soul travels. Ask the observer, did you see any light coming out of my body when my soul traveled, when I went to dream? Did I become a ball of light when I went in dreamland? I went to see my grandpa who died decades ago. And I went to, God knows, to this island. I went to another part of the space. Ask your observer, did you see me? Because the speed is going to be the maximum speed of light. Some light has come out of me, or the speed of the travel of the soul is so much faster than the speed of light that we don't even observe it with our eyes. The same as we cannot see in the dark. We cannot see the higher dimension of the fields. We are narrowed to the magnetic field strength of this planet for observation, no more. Our observation in another dimension, when we manifest ourselves, will be fixed by that environment. Maybe in that environment we see 10 times the speed of light than what we see on this planet. So are we going to be blind there? Or now we observe, we see a higher strength. These are the realities that us as knowledge seekers, as those who are advancing in technology, will come to be mature to understand. We have to. We have no choice. We have to develop new tools. We have to understand it's our lack of knowledge and not the ignorance that it doesn't exist. Wisdom comes from openness to understand, from openness to accept, to analyze and to develop and go further. Not by denial to lock it away because then it shows I'm stupid. Now you understand how. When we start telling you a new dimension of teaching starts, new understanding of the soul, work of your fields. Do you still need to see an UFO in the sky to wait for it to land? Or you can ask directly in connection with what you have in knowledge, which you go to access to. Where are you going? What's the next stop? We're going to planet Zeus. Can I come? I'd like to see the dimension of physicality. I'd like to be on that roller coaster, even though I can go with you, my soul. And then when you reach near planet Zeus, sorry, the UFO cannot land in this place. You go, okay. We go back, or you transmute through the dimension of your soul back to the ground to where you want to be and transmute to that dimension and life. Or are you that Englishman who goes to China, still looks for a fish and chips shop and expect all the Chinese to speak English? It doesn't work. The song says, I'm the alien in New York. You're the only alien which you made yourself alien because you never understood the process of the work. Now you understand. Now you have to come to realize, to experience it yourself. Test it with yourself in accepting a new dimension. You become knowledgeable. That's why you're knowledge seekers. you have become aware of. Now you're aware of, you cannot ignore it. How would I interact? When do I know I'm in a dreamland, or I'm a physical dimension, or my dream is the reality of the transfer of the fields and not in dimension of physicality? As I said to a child in a classroom, it's like when you go somewhere in a car. You get out of the car and you walk away doing your work. Does it deny that the car exists and it brought you there? Or do you pretend that I have no car and I walked? Or you sit in the car and say, I'm here because I'm in the car. I came with the car. Anybody wants me, come in the car. Sorry, supermarket doesn't walk in. And just because you go in the supermarket doesn't mean you have a car. It's the same with your body. It's the same with your soul. You have to learn your physicality is a car, and your soul is you who drives it to the position. Thank you.
One minute. I'm opening. Oh, yes. You can possess it and come back to it anytime you like. Or you can go shopping in the supermarket of the universe, knowing when I need it. I can call the car. I can go in the car and do what I like. And this is the fear which most of you have. This became very clear in the last Friday tests. It became clear more than the half of the participants could create the light, could see the light, and some could feel the change. But they didn't know what they felt. But it had an emotional effect on them. And very few who had to deny it because then they have to accept something, felt nothing because by saying, I feel nothing, then I can deny myself that I own a car. And some of you left with fear because the experience was too strong. And we watched you. We knew 3 minutes before any of you left a light because we created it. We see in the operation when you people who participated created light, and we know when we knew most of you have, because the system tells us it has happened, and we have it in writing. 3 minutes before I have written, the switch has come. They will switch, and the switch has come, and then the system shows, then the system shows all these data have been recorded, have been kept. It's not just to talk, because the next session will bring a new dimension. The session of the 22nd of December will bring shock to many of you that how much love is inside you and what that love can lead to, and to what extent that emotion will bring changes to you. Many of you will not have the same effect, the same emotion after going through the session of 22nd in the Christmas day. If you are a Christian, that the ears, nothing there. That the year before you will be reborn to a new dimension, you will feel the love, because then it's just nothing there. Because you have already tasted the sweetness of what you are trying to explain. I'm sorry. Trying to explain as a Christmas, what you're trying to explain as a birth, then you understand how things work. Then you understand how easily all can become man of the universe. Travelers in both dimensions, physicality and emotion and energy. Everything has a reason. The things we don't do at a given time, knowingly and unknowingly, is set up by the soul of the physicality of the man collectively on this planet. On this planet, when the rest is ready to happen, that the soul of the universe interacting creates the condition forward and creates that condition to manifest itself. In London, we showed the weight reduction to the first time before I posted some pictures. This was it, a scale. This time it was the screen. All the participants could see diplomats were taking pictures. They couldn't take enough pictures. Gram by gram, weight reduction. Gram could see, diplomats taking pictures. They couldn't take enough pictures. Gram by gram, weight reduction in 6 sessions, in 6 sensors. Position was clear. Why? One was
Losing weight.
Yeah. Thank you, my dear Mark. In my mobile, one was, I lost Christian and you feel. Understand collectively.
No problem.
Pictures, how? Okay. Gram by gram. Gram by gram, I'm repeating again. Gram by gram, weight reduction in 6 sensors. Position was clear why one was losing weight. Now we carry on with the same system. We have to show what we call the world leaders, the military, the common man, that we can reduce the weight. We already know we can. We already have the flying system and the biggest fear of the biggest nation in the world of its existence. When in the very, very near future, we invite you to come to see, then you all understand what it means to hold, to have to be, and to the part of, and to be in it. It's the place to understand. It's time to understand the process of creation. It's time to understand we have life as an energy and we have a life as physicality. That energy, when it's used within us, brings the physicality into motion and interaction. And if you haven't understood which you have an energy inside you, and you have to use it in the correct way, that the physicality comes to understanding and work. I will give you an example. You will try to drive a car without the fuel in it. Add the energy is not in it. Add the energy is not in it. It can go. You feel it, but you don't turn the ignition on. It's still sitting there. The soul inside, the car is there. Nothing happens. The energy is available. So when you switch it, then it starts. When you put it in the right order, then it moves. Then there is no difference between that tank of energy and your soul inside you. There is no difference between the physicality of car and the physicality of you. When you press that button, when you decide where you drive, do you put the fuel in the tank and go? Or do you put the hay in front of the donkey, hoping to eat it one day, that he has energy to move? Now you understand. It's you who has put that limitation of driving. It's put the limitation of where to go, because you are not sure if the energy in the tank is the right energy, is the right mixture of fuel, and everything else is there that I can't accept. I can't move. I can move. I can accept. I can move. I apologize again. Sorry. Thank you. I will repeat this line again. It's put the limitation of where we go, where to go, because you are not sure if that energy in the tank is right energy, is the right mixture of fuel, and everything else is there that I can accept, I can move. Thank you. Thank you so much.
That body, that soul can fly. And because the others cannot believe it, we are wrong. We are ignorant. We are following the wrong things. And this is all a dream. But when the first plane turned up in Tehran, my grandfather was saying we were laughing at ourselves, how stupid we were, not believing the guy. Now you understand. Our own understanding becomes the cause of our own shame. And not to be shameful, we become like them. We have to hide it from our family, from our friends, and everything else, because they can't accept it. Now become a secret sect. We become this and that. We get accused of everything else. Question. You talked earlier today in today's teaching about dimensions, the dimension of the soul, dimension of the soul of physicality, and dimension of physicality. Now, Nina asked earlier, could you please explain each dimension to us? I think that's what she's referring to, Mr. Keshe. Yeah. The dimension of physicality is you, your physical life, your body. Dimension of soul of physicality is that love you feel. It's a dimension of interaction of the fields of the physical life. Dimension of the soul is what connects you to the outside world of your physicality with its limitations. Your body walks, you eat, you feed it, you do everything else with it. But everything you do is not just eating it, because I have to eat it. You eat it according to what emotion it gives you. You kiss your partner because it gives you a confirmation of I exist. Somebody loves me and I can love back. You have a desire, or you take an apple. You think of one apple. You get up and you go to the fridge and you pick up an apple to eat it because my physical body, has a need, a love, or emotion to connect with that apple. I call it consuming, but in a way, the apple calls me. I'm here for you. You don't want me? It's not that just, oh, I feel an apple and I go and get it. In a way, the field strength of the apple in the fridge is there. I'm here. Nobody wants me. Oh, I have an apple in the fridge and I go get it. So we have to understand a lot. This is what we call the soul of physicality. It's connected to you. The soul of the man is you're sitting in this room. You're still enjoying the apple. Your limitation is the wall because around you, you don't see any beyond it. If there is a window open, you see the neighbors across the road. But your mother is sitting in New York. You are in London. Then, oh, I feel something wrong with mom. Now the man limitation cannot go. Your limitation is the wall. You're entrapped in the dimension of. But your energy, which is connected to your mom, it says there is a problem with mom because you have not learned to carry on with that communication all the time. Mom, how are you? How are you feeling? I want to feel. Oh, this is your kidney. You had a brain hemorrhage. Oh, you're happy because my sister from another place has come to see you. You have to pick up the phone. You open the line and call. Mom, I just thought about you. Are you happy? I felt you're sad. Hello? You ignored the line of communication of your soul with your mother. And you're still, because you're so physical, you keep that phone with you. And we ignored that part. And this system of communication is working 24 hours a day. Doesn't go to sleep, doesn't eat food, doesn't eat rest, or probably need rest. And it's working continuously because it feeds itself through the fields of the universe. Elevation comes through physical consumption. Now you understand the difference. It's your physical body on the sofa. It's your emotion of enjoying the odor, the essence, the touch, the feeling, the warmth, the everything else with that apple you're chewing. But this is limited to the wall. You cannot say beyond dimension of physicality. You cannot say beyond dimension of physicality of the wall. But the soul feels the mother in New York, and that's your soul. And this is what we denied. And the more and more we've come closer, become more and more, become aware of. You just don't need to talk because you use that line of communication, because you learn a new language. You go to language lessons, you watch television programs to learn French, to learn German, and the language of the soul, which you know you denied. I have a gorgeous feeling and understanding of this. When we came to England in 1970s, my younger brother went to one of the exclusive private schools in England. He looked a little bit Pakistani because you can't say the difference between the Pakistanis and the Indians, and it's a little bit hard. He had that inclination towards that, but he wanted to learn English, and he didn't want to interact with the Iranians in his school. In those days, it was a rich time. Half of the school were the Iranians. So anybody asked him, "Are you Iranian?" He says, "No, I'm from Pakistan." Then they could speak to him in Farsi. And he had to, then they couldn't speak to him in Farsi. And he had to speak English because he wanted to learn English. One day, a Pakistani guy, "If you're Pakistani, why don't you speak Urdu?" He says, "Nothing to do with you. I don't like to speak Urdu." He denied himself because he chose to learn a new language, to be in the environment, to learn the culture. But he had no choice. It was only the private school. It was the only private school in the city. And that's how he had to go, where to go. He was conditioned. But we used to laugh at him, even till he was alive. I used to call him Pakistani Mojan because he went that way, learned to become. He became more English than the Englishmen. He learned every facet of how to live, to walk, to be. But he was a pure Iranian in his culture, in living, and everything else. Thank you.
So we are in the same position. We deny ourselves because it suits us to be in that position. We deny our soul. We deny what is natural to us because we've been told to deny. Because with that, the religious people can abuse us. The denial of the soul has come out of the religion, out of the belief, not out of our choice of us. And anybody who connects to it, the soul, there's something wrong with him. If you heard the new controversy, which has been going around the Keshe Foundation, I explain it to you. It's very easy. Now that we start teaching about the soul, the understanding and the work and all the work we do, a sect of the Christianity has said this is Antichrist because they said when the Christ comes, these things will appear. A fact. They don't say these things appear because the time has come. And now this sect of Christians, oh, something is wrong with the Keshe Foundation. They're Antichrist because they said these are the signs when the promised one comes. So if we are the sign, how could we be anti? It doesn't work because we are part of it. You denied the existence of your soul to yourself because it's brainwashed. How do we know the difference? You don't need to know the difference because there has been a difference. Your sofa, your body on it, you enjoy the apple. That's the wall giving you the limitation. But this can jump out, can be somewhere else. When we did a test with the Chinese military in the summer of this year, they said, "Oh, you're producing material inside the wall." And this is what is created here. When the military officers are walking outside, it says, it's coming outside too. It's got nothing to do with the walls. The walls and the glass don't stop it. It's raining the same outside. Because the military generals never understood this is plasma, it has no physical dimension. And this is the same with you. Your soul has no physicality. It's shiny, it rains, goes outside. You blocked, you imprisoned the body on the sofa. The guy is free, you are a prisoner. The soul is free and travels the span of the universe. And sometime when in this travel, in touch, it comes to understand the work with others and gets enlightened. We get the beautiful people like Tesla. The enlightenment of the information, the understanding of it, becomes the most admired scientist in the world of electronics or electrical and magnetic fields. Because the limitation of the knowledge in the dimension of physicality is the wall. You created around you, sit in it. It's not limitation to the energy inside you, which is your soul, which travels the spans of the universe. How many times you sat somewhere, you were sitting and says, oh, I can do this different. And you get up and you do something. Oh, this is a new thing, new invention, new thing. Hello. Did that come to you while you were sitting there when the soul was traveling? Did part of it come from intuition and then you translated into this and it became something new for you? Is that the daydream of you call now enlightened, or something came to me and I tested it and it works? Then you understand. As I said, we are all in it. It's accepting it, understanding it, and what we do with it. I sat with my sister discussing about, and I've said this before, homeopathy. She's a homeopathy doctor and was telling me this and this and that. I tried to explain to her, this is not the way you understand it. How it works is different. And in discussion, I fell asleep. She was sitting next to me and I woke up. She said, I saw you downloading because I got up. I said, I'm going to write a paper about homeopathy that you understand. You learn the physical dimension. You don't understand the field dimension of it. And I wrote the paper of the homeopathy within hours. And she said, I watched you. You were downloading information. The way your body, your eyes were moving is not normal. I said, does it matter? Now you know the fact. Now you know the truth. How he came asleep, awake, running in the shower, whatever, because it's the knowledge we have to accept. And this is what we call the soul. And we have denied this to ourselves. Next time when you say, oh, I felt this, say, my soul tells me this and I do that. And I had a lot of people very recently, a lot of knowledge seekers writing that to me. My soul told me, Mr. Keshe. I said, your soul told you, but you are misinformed by the knowledge, because then you need somebody to confirm it to you. We have to understand horsed for courses, in brackets, racetracks. Okay, thank you.
Your physicality is for the dimension of your existence. Your soul of physicality is for its interaction with its environment, emotionally, and how they react to physicality. And then the soul is this body of you in the sofa as a fuel tank, which is connected to the others. It is not petroleum, it's magnetic fields. With the petroleum, you need a tank to hold it. With the magnetic fields of the soul, you need the universe, not even to contain it, but to understand where it goes. Question. Hello, Mr. Keshe. You said we never die, we transform according to the existence. And you said in the 192nd Knowledge Seekers Workshop, can a soul die? Yes, as I explained before, yes. But can we be the cause of this death? It can be done, but it's only done through the position of balance. when the soul sacrifices itself, not for man or another soul to end the life. So the comment is, the above sounds contradictory. Can you explain it? Mr. Keshe, no, 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 it's not contradictory. It's exactly what it is. In the physical life, we commit suicide. We end the dimension of physicality, but we still live the soul. In the dimension of the soul, we give our soul, and the soul is an energy pack. You have to understand, I repeat it again, in terminology of the Keshe Foundation, energy is magnetic fields in motion. When you give all your fields to another entity to elevate it, you have none left. No fields to create that dimension, so you don't commit suicide. You give that, you become part of, but you, as you, does not exist as a plasma. So you cannot go yourself and throw yourself open, but you can connect, to give. We call it the suicide of the soul, that you elevate the others. Me as an individual does not exist, but me as an amalgamation of the fields that elevates another soul exists. So you cannot commit suicide to blow. There's in physicality, we can hang it. We put a bullet in it. In the dimension of the soul, there's no system to open up and finish. But you can commit suicide, but in a way, you can end the life by giving your end, the cycle of your plasma in its strength to another, to become part of, for it to exist. So you cannot commit suicide in the dimension of the soul, but you can end it by giving to, become part of. The same is with committing suicide in the physical life. You cannot, because that soul within you has not matured to its completion to find its position in the world of creation. You cannot cut a tree when it's not mature. It's the same. You cannot cut a life when it's not mature. Killing it, it's yours or the other one to stop the cycle of elevation of the soul. It's forbidden. But yes, you can end the cycle of life in your physical life. You put a bullet in it, you hang it off the ceiling. In the dimension of the soul, you bring an end to it by offering, but literally creating a field of the strength of the lover who can take it up to elevate itself. The true love, the sacrifice of totality, but you cannot kill it. You cannot just blow it up and say, okay, take what you like, the rest of you. It's not your physical body. That's okay. I hang it on the wall. It's part of it. Uncle takes the head, and the cousin takes the shoe. You cannot. It's forbidden in both dimensions. In one dimension of soul, it's impossibility. You cannot. It's a field. How do you blow it up? Has no dimension of it. But you can find a match that you can give it to. You bring it to an end as you, but you become part of it. There's nowhere in the universe that there's no field. And at the same time, there's no end to fields. You cannot finish because you go of different strength to a different dimension. You become part of something else. You're a seed. You take energies. You become a man, or what you call it, a fruit. The man eats a fruit, and then it becomes energy for another dimension of the man and the rest of it. Just because you're eaten as an apple, it doesn't mean that it's the end of you. The purpose of your energy is transferred to somewhere else. And that we're talking in that dimension. You cannot kill a soul, but you can end the soul by finding elevation of strength of, and matching to become part of. Suicide is forbidden for the physical dimension. Killing a life, you can bring an end to it by giving it to someone else, to another entity of the field of plasma of the strength, that it becomes part of them. When you die, physicality, it's nothing of you left. You become whatever. When you end in the dimension of the soul, you become part of another. Your energy as a field becomes part of another. You can end it that way, but you cannot. It's impossible to commit suicide with it. So you always exist in another. Even in dimension of physicality, the physicality, you, is not there, but you live in the body of the worms, the plants, and the rest of it. And what they convert back to another thing afterwards is very simple. I was explaining this to a child. When you die in the Zoroastrian belief, they leave you on the temple areas, and the other animals eat you. You become part of that animal. Then that animal dies and worms eat it, then it becomes part of soul. So your soul carries on through the bird to do the fox who eats the bird, and then the rest of it. And then even that in the energy level you exist, but you cannot kill it to become part of. You are the energy which you transfer to another, but you cannot kill it. But it can end its life by giving to another what we call devotion. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacko. Thank you, Diane. Thank you, Shweta. And thank you, Myrnes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lissy. And thank you, Claudia, for reading this beautiful passage that still needs a lot of unraveling and understanding. While this reading was going on, we lost Rick, I think, due to a lack of power. The power went out, so I don't have the presentation. I just put this little memento on the screen. And may you be proud of the work you do, the person you are, and the difference you make. So we're going to carry on. We don't have a backup presentation, I think, ready to go, but perhaps Shweta knows what the next step would be, and we can just sort of ad-lib it for now till Rick comes back, or we'll continue to carry on.
Yes, my dear Mark, because before the moment of silence, you are welcome, and welcome, my dear. You wanted to say about the conference?
Yes, we just heard about
okay. Thank you.
Yes, we just heard about exploring this new dimension. So that's what we're going to do. We're creating this dome of peace within ourselves, our neighbors, the universal community, this planet, and for all beings. So we're learning to give and absorb energies. And the beauty of creating this is that nobody fails this test. I think this all started in Vienna, where Mr. Keshe said he'll handle the physicality, but he wanted us to start practicing using the energies of our soul to bring a change, to create elevation, to make peaceful creatures and a peaceful planet. So that's where this originally started, and I think the Brazilian team picked up that flower quite strongly and is doing daily intentions Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and they're also doing an intention on Wednesday to elevate the people negotiating for peace in Vienna. And if Claudia has that link, if people want to join, in some work like this, again, on the plasma level, on the non-dimensional level, you're welcome to do that. I think she can put this in the chat. But we're now going to change our dimension of operation. We're not going to suspend space and time, but we're now going to transcend space and time, using our own energies to create this position of change by giving. We haven't really believed in ourselves or this sort of dimension of work, as Mr. Keshe said in this transcript we just read. We kind of deny it because the others are denying it. So we want to take a moment and suspend our disbelief in yourself that it's not going to work. If you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. You're right in both dimensions. So it's you to set that intention, that to start working on something we've spent a lifetime ignoring or not really thinking about, that we are operating in both dimensions. So we stop ignoring and start exploring the capabilities. Now, I know Rick was going to put up this meeting the soul of the lover, which is the December 22nd session with Mr. Keshe, and you can book your virtual seat. I think it's €300 plus the value added tax. But this is where he said he wants us to learn to be that lover. We have to learn how to give. Even though we're going to do this now with our souls, this is a practice, but we still need to learn more of the details of how to give, how to become that lover. And this is what they're teach you in the 22nd, this principle of loving and giving and not to take, and understanding and correct conduct and so on. So this is the dimension we want to work in. And of course, you can join us at 9 p.m. every day, CET time, where the souls just gather on the energy level and bring this change. This is what the Universal Council is learning, how to bring the change through the dimension of energy. And the more we learn this, we start to realize we can feed ourselves, we can create wellness for ourselves, and this body and this soul can fly. So this is what's coming up on the 22nd. So why don't we take 5 minutes now, use our energies to bring about the change, to touch the world leaders, to touch religious leaders, bringing peace within ourselves and within the operation of this planet, and of course the universal community as well. So Shweta, if you'd like to keep a 5-minute track and let us know when this is over. We'll start again. Change our dimension of operation. You have both that dimension of physicality and the dimension of energy, or the dimension of the soul. So we're going to use our souls as we gather together here collectively in a state of peace and inner calmness as we go and start to work with this new dimension, as I said, that we haven't really believed in. We've heard about it. We've heard many teachers in the past talk about it. We didn't know we were really carrying it around on ourselves, but we were using it many times without our knowledge of using it. But now we're becoming fully aware of this process and the energies that we can create as a huge field generator. So let's collectively join together. And as I said, you can, if you like this process, you can join at 9 p.m. daily with the Universal Council and the family of knowledge seekers to bring the change through the dimension of energy. If you'd like to meet in a Zoom room or on a Telegram, you can join the Brazilian team. And again, I think they're leading this process because they were the first ones to pick up this flower and start to work with their own reactors, as they did in London. We saw what a success it brought. And as they continue to work in the soul that's been created in that group has other work that it will be doing as well. So we're just learning to understand this. We're practicing it, and we're going to transcend the space and time. So can we begin now? Thank you, Shweta.
Thank you. Thank you, my dear beautiful souls. Thank you, Mark, my dear. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shweta, for keeping track of that time. I see Jacko has sent
Yeah.
me the presentation, but I'm on an iPad, so I can't really pick it up. I only have one screen
Okay.
here. So we'll just have to work with what we have. But as I said, on the 22nd, it was indicated that they're going to shower you with love. I guess it'll help to bring out that inner love that's within you, this idea of peace and calmness and sharing. But we still have to be taught a little bit more about it. I thought I was a good lover, but maybe there is still more to learn. And of course, it's not love in the physical dimension, it's love in the dimension of the soul. And this is what we're learning, and this is what's being processed in these monthly sessions, or on the 22nd of December. I think the next session will be. You can find that in the Keshe store on the Keshe Foundation website. So again, if Claudia is here, I saw she came in and went out a couple times. I was asking her to put in the link to the Brazilian team if you'd like to meet daily. I think it's at 2 a.m. CET time, where they meet in Telegram. And then on Wednesdays, I think it's 6 p.m. CET time, where they work on this, bringing the world peace and other things. But as I understand it, I've been there. It's a beautiful session. And if that doesn't work into your schedule, you can meet with the Universal Council and other knowledge seekers from around the world on the soul level, on the energy level, at 9 p.m. and bring the change this way, through the dimension of energies, rather than through the dimension of physicality, where you go out and protest or write letters or send emails and try to bring the change that way. They'll probably never get read. With the work on this dimension, it's instantaneous. As I had that blue picture up on the just before this, with all those little lights, it was like a ray or PM ticks in light flowing. So I think we've done more work in the past 5 minutes than all of us collectively would do in a month in the dimension of physicality to bring the change. And again, it's a field strength that collectively we're stronger, but we have to reach a certain tipping point, I think, or field strength to touch these leaders, these religious leaders, and the governments, to help the change manifest itself in the dimension of physicality. So thank you, Shweta. I don't know what's next, but I think you do.
Thank you, my dear. Yes, I have also sent the PDF in the UCS chat. But there is a wish, beautiful wish, as there is always a wish, my dear. And there is a wish, always, like a mother do. All lovers do. All the love, always, forever, my dear souls. So there is a wish, and I will read the wish. Stefania, if you are here, you can read the wish. Beautiful wish. It is in the 1 moment. One more. Okay, I will read. The wishes. Oh, it's beautiful. We, the Universal Council, create the conditions for the world leaders to join the path of peace. Really, they must. This is no time for discussion anymore about peace. Peace is here. Everybody has to accept this. So this is the beautiful wish, my dear one. And thank you, Mark, my dear. And then we as Jaco, you're going to talk about the photograph, beautiful, because we cannot show that now. What you want to? Oh,
Yes, thank you, Jacko.
Yes,
thank you, Jaco, my dear. Thank you.
Thank you too. I just had to improvise, make a picture of the presentation. So hello everyone, all the souls in on beyond our beautiful planet. It's Jacko, the UC member, representative of the Dutch language. It's my thoughts and what I learned from Mr. Keshe's teachings, combined with the knowledge of the last Knowledge Seekers workshops. Do you look in the mirror before you leave your home? Just to check if everything is okay. The hair sits right, no stains on your clothes, as we usually do. Now, what if the person on the other side of the mirror looks completely different than you're used to it? Could you still accept that the essence, the soul on the other side is you? The same movements, the same feelings, same character in another form and dimension. It is where we are heading for. This flexible way of manifesting in other inertia and environmental dimension. It's good to know before we start our transmutational traveling. It still will be a shock experiencing it for the first time. Some times ago, I saw a streaming on the internet. It was a bear walking around in the forest where humans put a mirror at a tree. And the bear was so shocked seeing his own picture that he immediately started to run around the mirror to find that monster he just met. As he came back to the front side, he started to hit and push the mirror to finally get rid of that intruder. What do we do when we get to this point? It's like with all the other knowledge, where the more we learn, the more we understand how important it is to know before we reach this level of freedom to travel. One day, and I'm sure it will not be long, till some of us will reach this level. We have to get used to it, not to start dancing around and punching that mirror. And with all the tests, and with all the field crossings, with the systems, the foundation is offering us to mature our souls. Step by step, the universe becomes that new city we explore. Some knowledge seekers came and asked me, what happens if mankind will start to realize what happens right now? And I told them they will be that bear in the front of the mirror in the beginning. They need souls who are there, who are prepared to explain in a quiet, self-secure way, so they don't need to panic. Explaining the way nature was there always, that it was us who denied it, blocked it, because some so-called leaders told us. Whatever comes, whoever will try to hold back, like they did for thousands of years before, they will have to understand it's the love of the Creator that takes over this time. Then we become fearless. Fear often is the reason why souls do not allow their soul physicality to dissolve in the soul plasma energy field. Understand that everything, every single atom of your physicality is magnetically connected to all the other atoms near and far, instantly. So no more being on a distance, no more restrictions of time. We become timeless souls, interconnected and fearless. Side effect is a balancing of our body. We never judge. Therefore, we make our unconditional love available for those in need. And as Mr. Keshe said, wisdom comes from openness to understand, from openness to accept, to analyze and to develop. And in accepting a new dimension, you become knowledgeable. That's why you're a knowledge seeker. You have to become aware of it to become travelers in both dimensions. Soon we see each other in the other dimension. Did you ask yourself who already will be there, waiting for us to share a soul hug and welcome us all? I see forward to that moment and to share it with you all. Thank we as one.
Thank you, my dear Jaco. Beautifully, beautifully you said. Really, the moment is here. A big hug to all of you. Really, really. Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much. And now we can, as there was a presentation from Claudia. Claudia, yes, yes. Because we cannot show because okay, no, we have to show Jaco. What we are doing is in spite of this, we're ready to present the Brazilian wishes from Brazil, Keshe Foundation Brazil. It was from Claudia. And Claudia, can we show that? Can you show that here? Or hello, my dear.
It's already recorded. It starts in 12 minutes. 12 minutes.
So
but Rick is not available to show, Claudia.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm driving now. I'm not. I'm not able to.
Okay,
Maybe you just
Claudia.
can,
Sorry.
Because
tell a little bit about it.
Okay.
It's about Marie did like slides from the teaching 197. It's about the wish. What's a wish? And was a brilliant presentation from Marie and about this. And she did like a little drawings, beautiful drawings. And this is separated with slides and 1 to 13. And what we can show today, the slide 1 or 2. But I don't know if it's possible. But it's very beautiful, this presentation about the wish. What's a wish?
I think we have to do it next week.
Okay.
all are on the tablets and the telephones, and it's difficult to show with the streaming.
No problem. Thank you. And I will put the link on the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Claudia, my dear. Jaco, we are going to play the question and answer with the Universal Council.
Well, I cannot. If someone can, it is okay.
Okay.
I think we leave it to next week, then Rick can show it.
Yeah, we leave it to next week. Yeah,
right.
Thank you, my dear.
We've reached approximately the 2-hour mark, which is normally, I mean, if we had the presentation, we'd go on. But we have been here for 2 hours, so perhaps we will again. And of course, this is what's being offered in the store. This is the meeting, the soul of the lover, which again, Mr. Keshe said, we're going to shower you with love. We want you to feel that emotion, become that lover, feel the beauty of Mitra, learn how to give, to be that lover, to become that lover. And they're going to teach principles of loving and giving, so on. And it may not be so much in the verbal wordage of it, but the energies will be transmitted to you plasmatically, as we just worked in another dimension where we're creating the dome of peace, the elevation of all souls on this planet. So this is the dimension. It's a real seat, but in a way it's a virtual seat. And you use this with your headphones, and most of the time. I think he said this session would be a longer session, 3 or 4 hours, but they want you to feel a certain emotion, feeling the love of Mitra and learning how to love in this session. As I said, I thought I was there, but perhaps not fully in the soul dimension. So these are the techniques and what we need to learn to live and to love and feel this dimension of the love of Mitra. And they're going to shower you with it in this session.
Thank you. Thank you, my dear Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
And I welcome all beautiful souls, bringing the needs and wishes from your community to the Universal Council as one planet, one nation, one race for justice and world peace. I welcome you, beautiful souls. Have your share of love, of course. Shower each other with love. Welcome, welcome.
And as Rick always says, if you'd like to make a comment, just put up your virtual hand and you'll have a microphone. I don't think we can do that. I think the live stream and the YouTube or whatever is not active at this point. But if you're here in this meeting, you want to make a comment or bring a need or a wish from your community to the Universal Council, just put your virtual hand up. Not seeing any hands raised, at least in this chat.
Okay. Silence is appreciated, my dear. Take the love. Always be a lover. Thank you. Thank you, beautiful souls. Thank you so much for being here. And
hello.
Yes, hello.
Listen to me.
We hear you, Elizabeth.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. I talked yesterday about that because actually Venezuelan president talked with the community, and him say the community 95% accept claim the new again the territory to the Guyana, and that territory have actually discovered petroleum, and maybe the USA promise help to Guyana for not give back the territory. Now, please help unify the soul for the solve that decision is and the most better for the community, not for the governors, not for the nations, only for the people. No more wars, no more for more peace and more justice. And I think it's important elevate the soul, all governors or politicians and many leaders, economic. I think when you elevate the leaders, it's only for the government, because many financial leaders, many owners for the international association or capitalist, enormous capitalist, like for example, owner the petroleum company, have more decision, many things. And please talk with the soul, unifying and elevate the soul, all the leaders in different communities and different government, politicians, and whatever it is, for change that, and no more war, and no more invasion, no more, and respect the all nations. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my dear Elizabeth. Thank you so much. Of course, we wish for love always. So, my dear ones, here we are. Yes, my dear.
Just in time, Shweta, Rick has joined us again. He may be able to play the flight enhancement system music version,
Yes.
which I love. And let's see, settled in there. Rick, can you hear us?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I am here belatedly. It took a while to get the generator going, so I'm on backup system now. Are we at the end of the show? Is that what's happening?
Yes.
Or okay.
Yes, we are. Okay, then we are here, my dear, to serve, not to be served. And yes, here, the Universal Council. Thank you so much. This is Shweta Anwar, Universal Council Hindi language. And I will again say, beautiful souls, welcome, 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 suswagatam to the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy of Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute organization. And jump in, leap in, hug, find, love Keshe Foundation. Have the knowledge, universe, knowledge of love. Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you so much. Salam, namaste, salute.
And thank you all for carrying on without the slides and ad-libbing the best we could. So I think it ended up working out fine, and Rick is back, so he can take over the rest of the program.
Okay, good work, everyone. That's why we have co-hosts, and that's why we have the backup systems. My backup system didn't work, and my backup generator didn't work, so I had to work on them in order to get back here. But at least I made it for the end of the show.
Thank you.
So thanks to all the members of the Universal Council for being here for us as humanity, and we thank them for their work that they do. This has been the 303rd One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace and Justice here on Tuesday, December 5th, 2023. See, our next public teaching workshop is the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, which starts at 7 a.m. Central European Time on Wednesday, December 6th. And folks are welcome, whether you're a newcomer or an old-timer to the plasma technology. We welcome all and cover a number of topics. It's quite open. We always try to bring it back to the plasma technology in that class. Okay, I think that's it for now.
Do you want to mention the change in time of the workshop and the testimonial meeting next Monday, please?
Yes, thank you, Mark. Indeed, the Knowledge Seekers Workshop coming up, it'll be December 7th, Thursday, December 7th. And it usually starts at the 9 a.m. Central European Time, but it's deferred to 6 p.m. Central European Time. So whatever your regular time is, it will be 9 hours ahead of what it usually was if you listen to that Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And indeed, we do have the next Testimonials meeting coming up. And when we look at the date for that, it'll be on, it's always the second Monday of the month. And it's a public meeting for testimonials. That'll be December 11th, Monday, December 11th. And that starts at the 8 p.m. Central European Time slot. And folks are very welcome if you have some testimonial, personal testimonial of the plasma technology. Somehow it has affected you, or you've had noticed some changes. We would love to hear from you, and in a way, it's a good place to repay that the honor of receiving the plasma technology, so that others can also know about it and receive the knowledge through your testimonial. All right, I think that's it. I'm glad I made it in time for Shweta's
And there is a
best
backup
part
dance.
of the day.
Thank you. Be enjoy, my dear beautiful souls. Be enjoy always. Dance, dance, and clap. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, indeed. We have to have the ending here, which is the Flight Enhancement Spaceship Unit music version. And may you all clap and dance your way into the day. All right. Bye for now, everyone. Thank you for being here.